All right, all right. I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Before you guys click off this video, I know you guys fucking anyone who watches my video, I think you guys click off within the first 30 seconds. I got 30 seconds to make a pitch here. Okay. As you know, I don't edit. I don't do really much editing. I need to learn how to edit, but I just find YouTube as a hobby. But I want to make 2 possible announcements, and I might do a community poll for this shit. So I'm going to ask you guys a simple question. Would anyone, and if one person or 2 people are willing to do this, just watch me do this, I'll fucking buy it. I'm thinking I have always wanted to finish the Ace Attorney games. I started it 2-3 years ago on the emulator, never even finished the first game because I just lost the save file. Was like, I'm not going to redo this fucking game. However, I do know on Steam they have a revamped version for $30, and I am willing to buy it and play the game, and I want to record myself doing it. Now, if you guys are interested in that, you tell me in the comments. I may even create a community poll and just ask you guys. Second, I've been hearing a lot about an anime, a certain anime that I've refused to watch, called Redo of Healer. Now, I thought I would just make a series where I'd watch. I mean, I'm a little late to the party, of course, but I'm willing to watch Redo of Healer. I'm going to watch each episode, and I'll give you a great episode. Just tell you all about my experience watching it, so you don't have to, and I'll watch it uncensored version. We're not watching no censored. We watch uncensored. If anyone knows what Redo of the Healer is, it is it basically, if anyone here remembers Interspecies Reviewer, which was that show that had like basically people reviewing like brothels, basically Redo, and that like totaled the line of hentai and anime. Redo of the Healer basically fucking, the line is gone at this point. I mean, I think there's straight like revenge, torture, rape scenes in this show, but I didn't want to watch it because I don't want to watch it. But I thought it'd be fun if I could watch a couple episodes, make it fucking one episode, kind of like thing per month. I'm not per month, per week, so I can have some sort of something that people could watch. If you would find that interesting, me trying to explain the fucking horror and torture that I watch, and if there's anything else that you guys would like me to watch and make a review, please comment down below. I would appreciate. I want everyone to comment. I want everyone to like. I want everyone to just come on, just talk to me, man. I don't know what you guys would like me to do. So, for example, the Ace Attorney shit, I would love to do that, but I don't know if anyone's gonna watch it. If like no one's gonna watch it at all, then there's no point of me streaming. I can just run an emulator and just play it myself. However, if I am going to play it for reals and play it with you guys, then I'm going to buy the game so that it's easier for me to save it. I can, because I don't want you guys, because I've done the emulator, it's not very well done. And it doesn't work well for recording. But if you want to see me play the game, I'll buy the game and I'll start doing game playthroughs just as a way to just have some content here and there that's not too hard to edit, stuff like that. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stay away from the anime shit. I love anime. I love Yaoi, as you know. I mean, why do you think I have a fucking Given review right now? So, simply put it, Given. You're gonna see big, simple title screen of Given the review, the movie review. So, we'll start with just basically what is Given. Given is probably the Yaoi, probably the first ever Yaoi that I've ever experienced. I would argue. I wouldn't count Yuri on Ice because, again, that wasn't Yaoi. I didn't count it as Yaoi when I watched it. I didn't even count it as like Boys Love when I watched it. Given is the first one. It's probably one of the most influential anime I've ever watched. It's brought me down the hole of Yaoi and Yuri, bro. Mostly Yaoi, not as much Yuri. That distinction goes to Bloom Into You, which allowed me to then go into Yaoi. But besides the point, I want to talk about Given the movie because I watched it. And I thought it was interesting. I want to give you my thoughts and maybe kind of get people to watch the show if you haven't watched it. I'm not gonna spoil anything about the movie. I'm just gonna be really very simple review what I thought about certain aspects of the movie. It's gonna be, again, shittily edited because people can do like screens and shit. I can't do that, but I'll try to give you my thoughts on it. So maybe I could convince you to watch the show and then maybe watch the movie and maybe read the manga, even though the manga fucking does not update at all. It takes them forever to update. Jesus. But again, it's a very good movie. So basically, I'll give you the synopsis. Basically, a very simple summary. No spoilers, I don't think. Basically, Given follows Mafiu here. If you can see my pointer, it's on the left side of the screen right now. I'll move it to the middle. There's Mafiu, Uenonema, Uenomeya. I cannot say this. I just call him Ueno-san. Ueno-san. There's Akihiko, and then there is Hiroki. Hiroku. I fucking can't remember his. I can't say his fucking name for my life, man. His name is Hiroki. I think it's something along those lines. But you get the point, right? And we obviously follow their characters. It's Haruki. Yes, it's Haruki. I just remembered it right now. Haruki. And so basically, we follow them as basically Mafiu here is learning the guitar with Ueno, who notices that Mafiu has an extremely beautiful singing voice, and he wants to basically get Mafiu to join his band, if I'm correctly. It's been a very long time since I watched the show, but that's the basic premise, and there's like gay shit going on. And it's really well done. It's really well put together. The music is a standout, especially because this is a show centering around bands. And we get to see Mafiu sing, and from the manga to the anime, it was just as I had hoped. Maybe a little different than what I expected, but I still would say very well done. But I would say this show is very good if you want something yaoi, you want something boys love, but you're very afraid to go into it because there is a lot of fucking bad shit out there. I mean, a lot of yaoi has questionable elements. Let's just put it like that. It's the something. It's the something that rhymes with grape, and rope, and just change the O and rope to A, and you get the fucking term. So there's a lot of shit goes on in yaoi that most people aren't ready for. Definitely not Omegaverse. This has nothing to do with Omegaverse, just in case you're afraid of that shit. I know that shit scares some people, but this besides the point. It's a very good story. And they had a movie recently that I finally was able to watch. It's on Crunchyroll. I mean, it's behind a paywall, or you can always pirate it if you want to. But whatever you want to do. I'd watch the show and watch the movie. And so I thought I'd give somewhat of a comprehensive review. So we're gonna cut and we're gonna go to the first part. Part 1. Okay. Very simply, I thought I'd talk about the animation first. Then we'll go to story. Then we'll go to music. I think those are the 3 parts. Animation-wise, I think the series and the anime is passable. I would argue that in many cases, I don't think the animation matters as much as the story and whether they can capture the story as well as the music. Those are the 2 most important. I'd say the animation's good enough. I would have issues with certain parts when they're playing instruments. I get maybe this is just me. They add some CGI shit when they're playing on the thing. All right. Okay, I'm back. So just like let me give you an example, and I'm gonna make this slightly less. I don't know if I'm gonna get copyrighted for this shit, but whatever. Look at that fucking, like, when they're playing this stuff, it's like weirdly CGI'd on their hands. I don't know if you can notice that, right? And then on top of that, when they're playing the music, like when they're playing, it doesn't look like they're playing instruments. That's a gripe I've always had with Given. It does not look like they're playing what they're supposed to be playing. And on top of that, they kind of weirdly do 2D. Look at that, this CGI right here, and it's really weird. Then they go to 2D, and CGI on the hands. Look at that shit. And it looks really weird sometimes. And so that's probably the gripe I have with their animation. Okay, so stories and characters. I think Given does a great job with that. I think the movie does a great job with it. I think it picks up on Mafiu and Uenoema. And goes to Akihiko and Haruki. And so they go to Haruki and Akihiko here. So, and that's where the Given movie kind of picks up. It basically kind of completes basically the arc kind of for Uenoema and Mafiu's build up to their relationship taking off is like the first 12 episodes of the show, and then the movie basically follows Haruki and Akihiko's journey together. I think the characters are very well made. They're flawed, and they aren't just like these perfect characters that whatever happens, and I can almost describe, I think, the Given movie as kind of like Akihiko's redemption arc and Haruki's growth as a character arc, While we kind of see Ueno Mema and Mafiu in the backgrounds because the movie kind of cuts out a lot of the manga content to basically focus purely on Akihiko and Ueno Mema, and sorry, not Ueno Mema, Haruki and fucking Akihiko, rather than focus on the two main characters because their story is kind of, their first arc is done. We don't need, and maybe they'll do that for the next 12 episodes. They'll show them before the movie. If not, maybe they just might move on from the movie and go further and see other characters because there are other characters in the manga as well. I think again, the characters are amazing. The story is amazing. I don't want to spoil anything. I just think there's a lot of character development for characters. There's a lot of development for Mafiu and Uenma if you watch the show. A lot of development for Akihiko and Haruki if you watch the movie. And I think it's very well done. Now, the last part I want to talk about is music. What can I say about the music? Other than I think it hits different, dude. If the music was not good in this show, I don't think this show or this movie would be any good. I think it'd be shit. Fuck off. I wouldn't even be talking about it right now. But the music hits different, and I think it does. There's a lot of emotion to the music, right? And just certainly sometimes the music for certain episodes, I'm not the most biggest fan, but when they need to hit the music, and when I mean truly, I mean hit the music, they do hit the music, right? When they need to hit the music in the show, when you need to see Mafiu showing his emotions to the world, you can feel it. You get goosebumps. I had goosebumps. Right, I had goosebumps the first time I watched the show. I had goosebumps when Mafiu he sung about his love, and his love to Ueno-kan, and I thought that was just I don't know how they did it, but they were, for me at least, I could feel Mafiu's love for Ueno, which was his goal for his second song. That doesn't spoil anything because they never even talked about it in the movie, much less. They only talked about maybe him making them song here and there, but it doesn't matter. First movie was an emotional cry by Mafiu, where he just created the song. There, it's raw and emotional, and you can feel it. The second part, the movie, which is most of what I'm talking about here, does the same thing, but it's much more precise, poignant, and it's about Mafiu's undying, somewhat love to Ueno-Mema, and it comes from, if you're a manga reader, you know what I'm talking about, comes from kind of Ueno-Mema's little bit of fear with Mafiu, whatever, and Mafiu assuages that a little bit with this song showing that he loves him. And I thought that was just such a great, and I've been hoping for a while to hear this song because I have it somewhat in my head, but when I hear it by this guy, I think it's wow, it's just amazing. And the show, I don't think, has the most strongest soundtrack, I would say, but I think when the songs need to hit, the most important songs that are being built up, like in the show, this one song was being built up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 episodes in, and then, or 11 episodes in, and then bam, you get the song, right? You get that song, and it's a release in the show. In the movie, same thing, but it's more of a great, let's just say, end to the arcs of Akihiko and Haruki, where there needs to be some sort of ability to talk about love or how you feel about said person, because we're talking about Akihiko's redemption arc and Haruki, who have chemistry together, but there's a lot of issues with Akihiko and Haruki, especially Akihiko's relationship with a certain other character, which I don't want to spoil too much about. We only want to talk about Akihiko and Haruki because they are the ones that I would say is the most, we know them from the show. I'm assuming most people have never watched a show, but if you haven't watched a show, that's on you. This is a movie review. You clicked on it for a reason. And so we see he has an issue. Akihiko has an issue with another character that is harming his relationship with Haruki and maybe even harming himself in the process. It has to do with love, what it means to be in love, what it means to give someone your love, all sorts of stuff, and what it means to express said love, whether it's toxic or not. Put that out there. That's all you need to know. Overall, if I were to give the movie, maybe it's because I'm biased, I thought it cut out a lot of content. I didn't like that, but I get it. They wanted to focus on Akihiko um and Haruki, which is all good with me. I give it 8 out of 10. It's one of my one of my most formal reviews I've ever made. But I give given as a movie, 8 out of 10. Thank you again for listening.